Good Tuesday afternoon. This is Micah Mitchell with Crystal Clear Weather and locally at Madison County weather updates in Indiana. I'm going to zip through this really quickly, but I just want to cover two events that are coming through the region. One, a clipper on Friday, Thursday into Friday, and then a larger storm that may affect the Ohio Valley and maybe some points even a little farther south uh, between Sunday night and Tuesday morning. I'm going to use the German icon model because I think it's the one that's treating both of these systems the best. So this is Thursday morning. You can see snow right out into the western part of Iowa. And then as we go through the day on Thursday, Iowa takes a pretty good hit of snow, especially the southern, probably 3/4 of Iowa, 2/3 to 3/4 of Iowa. Could pick up, 2 to maybe 4 inches of snow in some spots. Most of the state will pick up, a 1 to 3 inch snowfall. And then as that progresses to the east into Indiana, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, it begins to lose a little bit. It's real questionable with this clipper because it's going to be getting some access to some colder air. We've had 4 clippers across the Ohio Valley so far this year. 3 of them overproduced. One of them produced at the high end of what was expected. So this 1 to 2 inch snowfall, maybe it may be possibly underdone, but we'll see. But I would say expect a general across the region 1 to 2 inch snowfall across most of Indiana, and then know that some higher amounts may be possible. That clipper then gets on out of here, moves on out of Ohio, and moves on out toward the east. Then we move on to the bigger show, which will arrive. There goes your clipper, and then we see this other system begin to come up from the southwest. And this is the early parts of this. You can see 2 things. You can see this ribbon that's up here, kind of across here. This is the beginning of advance of cold air. And then we've got the low pressure kind of that's going to come across here. And the two are going to meet together, and that will produce our larger storm. So you can see it begin to meet up as warm or moist air begins to get thrown up into this event. And as we move on, you can see this is 24-hour snowfall. And by the time we're getting into Monday, the icons are kind of in between. Some of the models are a little faster. The Canadian model is slower. The icon's kind of in between. I really think for Illinois and Indiana and parts of Ohio, this is going to be a Sunday night through Monday night event. But you can see what it kind of does with the snowfall. It keeps the heaviest snowfall across southern parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and far northern Kentucky. I think that's really kind of fair for what I expect. And there are some solutions that are farther north, and I'll show you the GFS. It is way far. The 12Z is much farther south, but the vast majority of the GFS runs have been kind of where this is. So I think I-70 and south for the heaviest snow, possibly I would say maybe a 6 to 10 inch event because of the kind of cold air that's coming with this. I really think the moisture load, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, southern Illinois, you could be in for a 6 to 10 inch snowfall. Central parts of those states, probably more of a 3 to 6 inch snowfall. Then by the time you get to the northern parts of those states, the cutoff will be pretty sharp. I do think it's not going to be quite this sharp. I still expect the northern parts of these states to pick up a little bit of snow. So that's kind of the way the icon handles that. We'll take a look at one more thing here real quick. This is the 12Z GFS. And you can see here comes the clipper on Friday. It handles it very much like the other model data does. But then look at what it does with this storm on Monday. It really just dives this thing far south. So if you're in Kentucky and you're a snow lover down there, you're going to want to root for this 12Z GFS. And, oh, hold on. It helps if I click on the right thing. I didn't realize it had changed runs on me. Still the same thing with the clipper. And then it's still the same thing. 0Z, 12Z, both run this storm way south. The 6Zs and 18Zs have been running the storm much up closer to where everything else is. So the same thing still applies. If you're a Kentucky snow lover, you're going to be wanting to root for these GFS runs that are way south. It's much more progressive with the cold, therefore it pushes the storm track farther south, which is a possibility. We're still 5 to 6 days out from this event, so nothing is set in stone yet. And then out toward the very end of this, to show how much farther, how progressive the GFS is, look what it does with this snow that's rolls in around the 10th. It pushes it way out west and drops that thing hard to the southeast, and basically bypasses the entire region almost. So I don't think that's right, but I thought I would show it to you anyway. So again, I think the icon, I'll go back to that and show it to you real quick. This right now I think is the best representation of the icon from this distance. Again, I think this is maybe a little too narrow with the snow. I think it's going to be spread out a little more, but it does at least give you the I-70 and south for the heavier snowfalls, and then it decreasing as you come to the north. For those in Madison County, Indiana, again, I think this is probably pretty fair, 3 to 6 inch snowfall coming for parts of north central Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. This is still 5 to 6 days out. As things come into better focus, we'll, of course, I'll update it, and we'll see how things go, and I'll end up generating my own map of what I think is going to happen probably tomorrow. So this is Micah with Crystal Clear Weather and Madison County Weather Updates. Have a great day and be prepared for the upcoming snows. It's getting ready to get pretty active for January.